Hey guys, I believe this stream is live, and I want to cover here a few things about the programmatic SEO. So we become expired of this programmatic SEO with the Mark Lowell. Shout out to him. He's like doing a great content, and he has a few video about like how he did the things. So we want to make an experiment where we wanted to make a programmatic SEO with the AI. Why AI? Why we wanted to do this? Because actually we have a SEO person who managing the SEO, and he tell us that basically he using any different AIs to make those, and what he are using is basically like ChatGPT, Perplexity AI, etc. Like different of them, and he are not just copy the text there. He doing manually, like finding the keywords, trying to give direct direction to AI to make a initial draft, and from this draft he changing like 30-20% of all of the content to before actually publish it. And what we tried to make, it's not so great content which would be analyzed by Google, so it probably would not be so great in case of statistics there. When the Google will analyze these, it probably would not be so good, but in the same time it's just an experiment. So I want to show you actually the steps which we are using there, and when we set up those, actually when we launch those pipeline, we managed to have probably 1.3 thousand pages about like in an hour. So we spend an hour there to using this pipeline, and basically have a 1.3 thousand pages. So what I want to also show you, it's probably Webflow, where give me a sec. So it's probably Webflow. Webflow, we are using the Webflow to as our main landing page, and we have a main CMS where we like launch a real great data with the SEO, and for this experiment we just created a new CMS which called FAQ. Okay, so it's called questions and answer. This is different one, which is FAQ for us, and we decided to not make a really big posts because probably it would be complicated to like manage different topics there, but we wanted to make a like FAQ system for us based on the AI, so AI could tell us the right data which we can just use there. And basically what we did, we managed to publish this all content automatically, like to generate those content, to publish those content, all of this kind of stuff. So we are not do anything from this by ourselves manually, only like to initial setup of this content. And at the same time, you need to understand that this content would not be correct. I mean, this not be so great content, so Google would not get this content and give you 1,000 leads. But actually this is just a showcase and experiment as well for us, so you can just pick up this and manage somehow to use a different AIs there, or just to change those texts also automatically somehow, so Google would give you a better results. And why so there's no make sense to make this from the scratch, because basically we already did this, and just to not spend so much time there. So and at the same time we already so we make those publishing experiment probably 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and for us the data wasn't changed, so it not become better or it not become worse, like a little bit better, but not so much. So also you need to understand that you need to like give the Google a time to spend there to analyze your new pages, to give these pages an index, and like actually get a response from the Google after some time that those pages is really valuable or not. So that's why we created the external or different table with the CMS, so we can directly delete those table if there's something would be not so good. So and for making the pages itself, so the content itself, we are using the Perplexity AI instead of ChatGPT, but you actually could use also a ChatGPT as well, mm, because like why is Perplexity, right? So Perplexity because you can literally see what is the sites it is using to find a content, and you just can give a Perplexity a direction in which direction it should search for the content as well. You can give the Perplexity direct like sites, so let's say like search only on Reddit, search only on Quora, or whatever you want. So the Perplexity itself looks like this. I believe like many of you know about this. And also one more point why we wanted to make a programmatic content SEO, because we start researching and we saw that if you go to the library and you are using like some pages like this, you can publish these pages, and this is like another video probably for explanation, but you can use the pages to build your SEO as well, so to increase your SEO results as well. And so we start searching about how we can automate those pipeline, and we found this build ship tool, which is not really like popular yet, but it's actually give you a lot of different things. It's something similar as other pipelines, which give you the webhooks, the automated to make your automation. And this one is easy to use in some cases also, and it has a lot of the nodes. So if I just go here, you have a lot of the services which you can use and publish, and you can create your own one. So you can just, let's say, go to any kind of API which you are using. So let's say the Framer, or I know in our case this is a Webflow, or this could be I know what WordPress, whatever you want to publish it, and you can just use an API to create your own script to publish those data. So it doesn't mean that you cannot use it, and in the same case the meaning is that you can extend all of this automation by how you want to do this. You can even publish to the Slack, to the Telegram group, whatever you want to. So it's just a showcase about automation itself. And so where we start, we definitely initially we wanted to put like a long list of keywords, and from those keywords just to run any kind of script and publish those changes. But unfortunately we was struggled with problems like what would happen if in some cases one of those if those scripts like become broke, or it drops somewhere. So we actually wanted to use a REST API call. So each REST API call, if this would be, if there would be any problem, and your REST API call would give you like any error from the response, meaning that this pipeline wasn't work correctly, and you can just start from there in a new iteration. So you can just stop those iterations, do not proceed there, and just start from the place where it was broken. And it's super easy. You can just put any path, any kind of data there. So it's this build ship app basically used for as I understand, for like make a basic API in some cases. So that's why basically we use it. And the first thing is that we get a request, and from this request we get a query itself, and then we just put a perplexity basic script there. If I would go inside, what we changed is that we changed the response a little bit. So we just got those script and changed it in some cases because it wasn't working as we expected. And we play a lot with the question prompt. So if you're familiar with the perplexity, there's two different prompts which you can put there. It's your user prompt and the system prompt. So the system prompt is something that the system, how system should behave on any kind of message. So it's the same as you using on the chat GPT, like behavior, answer me as you experience a developer, or answer me as you experience a marketer, or whatever. So this is a direction which the perplexity should use to answer any kind of or search any kind of data. And in these questions, let me just probably sorry about this. Let me just probably to change this workflow so I can show you. So yeah, so it's super easy. You are professional storyteller. Answer should be in HTML format. Why? Because we wanted to publish this data directly to our CMS, and this should be with latest 24 standards and tips. And we want to also to split this all on the chapters. We also tried to put like a direction to not use a small chapters in the answer, but it wasn't so great, so you need to play with this also. And this is a behavior, and basically in the prompt itself, let me just go back. In the prompt itself, we ask the perplexity to write a long SEO article as long as possible, split it to the characters as well the same, and tell everything related which you can find about the topic which we want, and like find some similar topic as well and put this to the answer. So it's general FAQ thing. What we wanted to do next is actually connect the Webflow. It wasn't so hard, but the one thing which I need to mention, that we wanted to use the Framer itself for the start, because we have a landing page on the Framer as well. But Framer don't allow you the API to put any kind of data to CMS. They have those open issue and they are working on this. So that's why we come back to the Webflow. And in Webflow, you basically need to find the collection ID. It's not super hard. It's even say where you can get it. Just let me. So this is. Let me just try to show it. So this is your collection ID basically, where you can find it and just put it whatever you want. One interesting thing is, if you want to work with the Webflow, you also need to play with the how you publish in your data, because in our case we are using a post body, which actually a rich text type, and the meaning of the rich text type. Let me try to show you again this one. So you need to be sure that you use this rich text instead of normal one, because otherwise you would not see the HTML output which Perplexity would give you in correct way. So you just would see HTML as a normal text instead. But you actually want to behavior the headers as a H1 or H2 type, so the Google would understand what is the type of this, what is the correct type here, where's the description, where's the header. So, and one more mentioned that these cartoons. One more mentioned that you also need to use a rich text on your design in the Webflow, so you can also see those texts in the HTML as well, like correctly. If I would come back here, so there's nothing special in this Webflow thing. There was no problems with the Webflow publishing itself, and when you make those pipeline, it automatically could be published. So there's a boolean variable which says is this should be a draft. I'm not sure, like this one. Is this should be a draft, or it could be published by itself. And we also use the basic input to, because we have a structure on the Webflow, right, and we use the basic output to put there a value, whereas the test, it was our body. I'm not sure why we call like this, but as I say, this is just an experiment. And the name, it was the name of the blog. So we just get the name from the actual query name and just change it. Later on, so where we got those keywords, where we basically go to the href, right? And from the href, let me just sign in. From the href, we just go to the competitors. Let me find this. Where is it? Maybe contact explorer. So I'm not sure. Yeah, we just put here a competitor site. So I don't know, just google.com, for example. And by the google.com, you actually can see the keywords. Yeah, you can see the keywords, and you need to have a basic understanding about the SEO itself to like understand what is the data here. But we we just filter those keywords to have the most smaller difficulty to make a post there. So we just make something like this, and there was oh my god, yeah, there was a keywords from 1 to 5 probably difficulty. We just extract those keywords into CSV file. We go to the perplexity as well, and in some cases we use the Google ML, or it's called the Vertex AI, right? The multimodal. We use the Vertex AI to find the griot. So to use these keywords to change them using the Reddit and Quora websites, and after we change those, we actually ask to use these keywords to create the questions for our pipeline. So this pipeline would receive not a keyword but a question, either like the most popular question which you can find on the Quora or any other, like, or Reddit, right? What the people literally asking there with this keyword. So this would give us the list of the questions. I'm not sure do I have those example. No, I don't have an example, but it was really like yeah, I can show you basically from the from here, right? Because so it was give you a question something like this. So how to actually use the digital twin, whatever. So any kind of questions it should be. And from there we basically we need to run somehow our pipeline, right? So we ask the perplexity to make literally a bash script which was look like this. Let me show you. Which was look like this, where we have a bunch of the questions, and what we do is we actually get those URL, which I need to change because I'm showing this on the stream, right? And we just send the request through console command, and basically from this request, if we have a success result, meaning that we can pick up a next question. And you also need to like understand that any kind of data need to be generated, any kind of answer on this need to be generated. So you need to have to take it to have a time to generate those questions. That's why we're sending them one by one. And if question would be failed, we just would see like what the failed question there, and we would start from there. That's how we test those. Yeah, so this is basically it. We wanted also to make some kind of optimization to make this more faster as well, but for now we are just waiting for the results from the Google SEO. Like, would this working in general? Would this be great, or it wouldn't? But we already have increases in our search results, so the clicks wasn't really changed, but the search results, they increased it like twice time. And I believe this is mostly it. So we try to find any kind of other pipeline, but this is the most common and easy one to set up. So as I said, by the way, you can just create your own script which you can use with the variables. So it's not so hard to create one. You can even use the AI to make those probably. And mostly like sites which you are using, whatever this would be, a Webflow or custom WordPress, you can just go to the API and just grab the first code to publish the data to CMS. And this is empty code you can use to make those. You can also use like a parallels there to make any kind of data. And we also tried to so our next iteration would be before we actually publish this to the Webflow, we wanted to go to other let's say ChatGPT, right? And with the ChatGPT to extend those text to make it bigger, because right now it's not so big actually. And if I go back here, you see that this post, it's not so big. There should be a points, you cannot see them as well, but it's not so big, it's not so optimized. We need to play with this a bit, but the text itself is generally catch from the Google and Reddit, those sites as well, because we asked to make those. It's not super hard to make those, but in the same case it's super interesting. So I believe this is all. I'm checking the questions there. Yeah, I don't see any questions, right? So let me wait a second. I will check the Telegram as well, because we are streaming there. We find another tool for this. You can, so literally you can try to find like something like automation. I don't remember the sites. Oh. Yeah, we initially wanted to use this Zapier, but for us it's a bit complicated to handle what actually broken there. So if some pipeline would be broken, it actually in some cases hard to find. I'm not sure like why the system is so complicated to like see the logs, results, etc. Maybe wasn't super easy on first time, but in the same time it's not so easy to use. There's many other things which you can use. There are many connections in Zapier itself, but it's not so easy to use for us itself, at least. I see there's no questions at all, so thank you for your time. And if you want to be a participant on next workshop, just shoot out the message in Telegram or social media. Thank you for your time, and I hope it was